Yo, what's up, guys? James Horn, Single Dads Network, taking a stroll in the middle of the pandemic. A lot of people are staying inside, and I have a lot of friends that are hypochondriacs who really think that if they come outside that this virus is gonna fly through the air and kill them, even though it's sunny outside, even though doctors say that the UV rays of the sun are one of the most awesome disinfectants by nature, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm glad that I was able to really talk to y'all today, you know what I mean? Just cause I want to talk about education. School is out right now, and a lot of the kids are home, and I'm not gonna lie, my kids have been not doing jack shit because Dad's been too busy, you know, listening to everybody's shit about the stupid ass coronavirus, which I don't have no opinion on it either way. Some of my friends says it's the end of the world and it's the rapture. Other ones say that, you know, it's nothing, and other ones say it was made in lab, and you know, there's a lot of opinions, you know. But since we're in this pandemic, you know, that the media has created, instead of, you know, giving us hope and giving us like the good news about people recovering and the good numbers that, you know, millions of people don't have it, and the good, you know, news about their, you know, making a vaccine for it and blah blah blah. They just want to talk about everybody dying all the time, you know what I mean? And I want to talk about like cities shutting down and this, that, and the other, but they never do it in a positive way, you know? So every time we see this, we don't have hope. You know what I mean? It's always fear. You know, it's always fear. So I want to talk today, and I'm gonna stop right here, about education. Education is very, very important, especially when you're a single parent, especially when you're a single father. You need to educate your kids on the things that really matter. In this world, they'll tell you all this bullshit about the curriculum that, like, you know, they have and how important it is and blah, blah, blah. But in reality, like, a lot of the stuff they learn in school is just filler stuff, you know, because all they're doing really is not hypnotizing, but indoctrinating our kids to learn how to be corporate slaves in the corporate workforce when they get older. That's it. That's all school is. You know, that's all high school is, and the middle school, and that's basically all it is. You know, they teach you how to get to school on time. They teach you how to sit down for long periods of time, do a bunch of work that you don't want to, you know, really care about doing it. You know, that really doesn't matter. They teach you about how to leave when you're supposed to leave, and then you get rewarded for doing your work. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the bell and the saliva thing, you know, that experiment, you know. But education is very important when it comes to being a single parent, and you need to educate your kids on the thing that matter. Now, in my regiment, and I'm gonna have some lesson plans and stuff if you guys want to check it out, you know what I mean? There's a couple of things that your kids need to learn about when they're young, and you need to teach them these things that way that they absorb them and they're already on the right path when they get grown, you know? The first thing is health. You know, I'm not the most healthiest guy in the world, you know, but I am doing my best to change that. And I want my kids to see me change that, because I want them to know how important health is. Health is important, you know what I mean? 99% of the shit that you get from fast food is crap. You know what I mean? But you should not be eating any of that stuff. But what they do is they indoctrinate our kids to be eating that stuff from a young age. That's why they have Happy Meals and kid meals and this, that, and the other. And that way they get those customers from when they're kids, so when they're older, they're still eating the same crap. Salt is very addicting. Sugar is very addicting. Empty carbohydrates is very addicting. You know, that stuff is very, very addicting. And the thing about it is you need to teach your kid about health and the reason why they need to stay healthy, you know? You don't tell them, you just tell them not just to be, you know, and ask. You need to tell them, like, you need to be healthy. That way, when you grow up, you don't have health issues. You know, when you grow up, you'll be able to run, and you'll be able to, you know, be focused, because nutrition and learning go hand in hand. You know, my kid was on some medication for ADHD because the doctor was like, oh, you need to put him on medication, and his damn mom and his grandma were like, yeah, put him on the medication. So we put him on the medication for a couple of years, and he was freaking a zombie. He was a zombie. He wasn't that same kid. When I got custody of him, I stopped giving him the medication. I changed his diet, changed his regimen, changed his sleep habits, changed everything, and he's been doing better than he's ever been doing because of the nutrition. Health is very important. You need to explain to your kid, explain to them where the food comes from, explain to them how they make the food, explain to them the chemicals in the food, explain to them about how the nutrition tag is, and with calories and salt and sodium and vitamins. Explain to them all that stuff, you know, and make sure as a single parent that I know, you know, we as single parents like to give our kids fast food, you know, because we're always on the move, we're always on the run, we're always gunning, especially as single dads, you know. But as a single dad, man, you gotta learn how to cook, man, because only through you cooking nutritious meals will you curve their taste so that they will have the taste for healthy food, and they'll want it. They'll know how it makes them feel, and it's a great thing, because you're passing down recipes, you're passing down tradition. It's something that you can do with your kids together, and it's just an amazing thing. You know, I try to cook at least 5 times out the week, you know. 5 times out the week, I try to cook, you know. Most of the times it's dinner, because, like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do the oatmeal or cereal in the morning just because we're in a rush. But on the weekends, my kids be seeing me make these breakfasts, you know what I mean? But, you know, I do my best to cook and prepare food and talk to my kids about nutrition, because I don't want them to be overweight like me and have health problems like me. I want them to be better than me, you know? So health is number one. Health is key. Healthy body means a healthy mind, and a healthy mind means to be able to have the reason and the deduction to be successful adults. Number 2, you got to talk to them is finance, and this is real finance. This ain't that bullshit finance they teach you in school. You know what I mean? We're gonna cross the street because we're practicing social distancing. Not that bullshit finance they teach you in school, or, you know what I mean? No. You need to teach them about assets and liabilities. And if you guys don't know, an asset is something that makes you money. A liability is something that costs you money, okay? Assets and liabilities, number 1. You got to teach them about credit and how important it is to keep up on their credit and pay their debt. You know, you teach them about savings, and also about consumerism. You need to tell them what consumerism is. You got to explain to them what it is. That way, like, they know, you know? Practice healthy spending and talk to them about it. You know, we live in an age where there's not a lot of commercials, you know? So it's like back in the day when I was a kid, we didn't have internet or Netflix or Hulu. So there are so many commercials telling us what we should buy, what we need and stuff, you know? But if you talk to your kids about consumerism and the reason why they don't need to buy everything and the reason why you're not getting them everything, then it'll definitely help in the long run, because it'll teach them to be responsible as adults. Teach them about saving. Teach them how to save their money. Teach them about necessities, you know? Teach them about those things. Because they don't teach you about that stuff in school. They teach you about that shit in business school, and they don't even really teach you about it. They don't teach you about it in high school either, because at the end of the day, society wants you to spend all your money and become in debt. You know what I mean? So, credit, assets and liabilities, savings. If you teach them about health and money, you're gonna be good. I mean, the third thing you need to teach them is about the opposite sex. And you need to teach them about it in a positive way. You need to teach your kids how, as a single, I shouldn't say it like that. You need to teach your kids, or how I teach my kids, is how you should be treated as a man and how a man should treat a woman. It's different ways in different cultures, you know what I mean? But I teach my kids that they need to have respect for themselves first. And by having respect for themselves, they need to have respect for the person that they're going to be with. You know what I mean? You got to talk to them about that. And if your kids are in the teenagers or preteens, you got to have to talk about sex straight up. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing that could happen is for your kid to become a single or a teen parent. Like, you don't want that, you know what I mean? It's kind of like baby raising babies, you know? You definitely don't want that, you know? So I think those are the 3 most important things you really need to talk about them, you know? If they're men, talk to them about women, you know what I mean? Have honest conversations. Don't bash the other opposite sex either. Don't do that, you know what I mean? But have conversations, you know, about women, about sex, about courting, you know, about dating, about what to look for in a female, you know, and how to treat them. And let them know that, you know, in order for them to find a quality woman, they got to be a quality man, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Talk to them about that. Talk to them about teen pregnancy. You know, just talk to them and let them know what the game is. Put them on game, you know. That way, you know, when they get older, they don't make the same mistakes that we made. You know what I mean? So those are the 3 things. Always educate your kid at home, dude. Don't ever depend on society to educate your kid. Society's shit. They're not going to educate your kid. They're going to indoctrinate them and imprison his mind. You know what I mean? You have to educate your kids. You have to put them on your own curriculum. You have to teach them the things that are important to you. Teach them about your culture. Teach them about your history, you know? Teach them all that stuff that they need to know. That way they know exactly, you know, who they are. But anyway, that's it for today's video, man. Just some food for thought. We still quarantined, so as soon as everybody stops acting like it's apocalypse, I'm gonna have some guests. I'm gonna have the podcast. I'm gonna have the website. I'm gonna have everything up, have the community up. And if you guys have any suggestions of things that you think that kids need to learn growing up that school doesn't teach, then put it down in the comments and give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.